In the world of energy, nothing is good or bad. It's only our judgment. It's what we have in our mind, what determines if experience is positive or it's negative. So, but both teach us things. It's part of our evolution. So what we need to know, and that's how I'm going to start, is with the definition of consciousness. Because this conference is called How to Be a Conscious Parent. What does conscious or consciousness mean? You know? So according to Wikipedia, a person that is a person's awareness or reception of something, you know, of the perception of something. Like, I understand what is going on towards this. And taking this the definition and like other things, I will say that is the state of being aware of something, and my response towards that, about my surroundings and what is happening inside myself. I have to take both things into account. So, because for example, talking about the judgment, when we consider that something is positive or something is negative, in that moment is something that happens within me. The same situation, if we take two different mothers with two different kids that are facing exactly the same situation, they don't consider it in the same way. It's their background, it's what it is in my subconscious, how I'm going to interpret that situation or that reality. So every case is unique because we all have different educations, we all have different cultures, we all have different things that create the reality and my perceptions towards that, even though if it is the same situation. Okay, and obviously what you're facing from outside, how you interpret that. So the more conscious or the more aware of that you are in that moment, and the best that you give of you, is how you're going to be able to respond to that. So the idea with our kids in particularly is that we don't react, which means that the situation has control on us. The idea of being a conscious parent is basically that we are the masters of our destiny. It means that I, according to my thoughts, according to my feelings, and according to my actions, create the relationship that I want to create with my children. So life doesn't happen to me because I consciously create it. I take responsibility, full responsibility of what I'm living, of the situation and of my kid. That is to be conscious. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we many times are going to try to blame the kid, and I would like to justify. No, it's because he behaves like this, that I react in this way. It's his fault that I am behaving in this way. But it is not like that. What is happening is that he's triggering something that I have to heal, that I have inside. And that's the reflection that I would like to make through all this presentation. Okay, so first of all, I would like to say that every person that you cross in your path is your master. There are cosmic connections that allow that you are sitting here today, that we meet, that we make friends, that you being Mexican, me being Colombian, meet in South Africa. So I have to learn something from you, and you have to learn something from me. Any person that crosses your path is a master. But obviously, the persons that are more close to you, that you're going to share more time of your life with, like your husband, some partners, like your children, that is a connection, that is a bond, energetic bond for all your life. Because maybe you can change a partner, but you cannot change a child. This is even if you give him away and you don't want to see him in your life, the bond, the energetic bond, is going to be for all your life. So they are our biggest masters. This relationship is very important. So we need to know that through love, because it is love what made them possible, and because we love them. I don't know if all of you love your children, but we're supposed to love them. You are really every case is different. But through love, we want to do big changes in our lives. And sometimes the changes are that big with our children that even we lose our identity. We, as ourselves, as parents, get lost in the way because they make us change so many things in us. The bond is so strong that you don't only change physically a lot, we change emotionally, we change our thought patterns that have been very, let's say, very concrete or very stuck in we change those because they show us a lot of possible different ways. So we are making changes in all our bodies. We make changes in the mental, in the spiritual, in the emotional, and in the physical body with the relationship with our children. So the first thing, if you want to be a good father or a good mother, we have to connect with ourselves. If we are not in balance with ourselves, how are we going to give? If you are not centered, then life happens to you. What you are going to give is not what you really would like to give, because you are going to deal in an unconscious relationship. But if you're centered and if you are aware, what you're going to give is what you would like to give. So it's going to be a positive outcome because you are like planning it, consciously going step by step towards that. Do you have something to write? Would you like to? Lina? Well. It's okay. So here we say that we are connected with our children because they reflect, they are mirrors of us. And that's why the impact of them is so strong in us, because we see in their behavior the good things, the light that we have inside, and our dark side as well. We see that they copy the good and the bad. Remember, good or bad is our judgment. It's something that I interpreted. It's not good and bad in terms of energy. But they just copy, they just mirror. They behave as our example. And it is not something that you have said or spoken, because maybe you are saying things but you're feeling different. And the subconscious is like the iceberg, no? So the conscious part is like the 10%, but the 90% is all what you don't see, all what you are emanating with your energy. And this is the biggest language. So when they are born, they learn more for what you touch, for what you express. When they have the connection, this bond in your chest, next to your heart, is how they are going to really build their security, how they are going to really build the basis for their whole life. You can tell them, oh, I love you, but if you don't feel it, you won't connect. This is energy. So the parenting relationship with them is energetic. This is very important that you have it in mind. Even though, as I told you, if I abandon them, if I don't want to see them, why children want to look and see who were my parents? If they were adopted, these souls decided that, and that's when we're going to go with the first line. So, before coming into this world, there was a pact of souls. This is written in the Veda scripts. This is mentioned in the Toltec tradition. Many authors that talk about the spirituality, like Doreen Virtue, like Wayne Dyer, like now Maria Elvira Pombo, for example, they say, before coming, we knew that we were coming and we choose these parents, because these parents were going to teach me the lessons I need for my soul to evolve. So if we see this with this perspective, then I consciously choose them with the good and the bad, no judgment. But with the things that they taught me that hurt me, and with the things that they taught me that made me a good person. And at the end, if you are objective, both situations, the love, the good, the happiness, and the ones that hurt you, both make you the person that you are today, with the capability of taking the decisions that you take today. So we have to face this relationship from our parents with a lot of gratefulness. And get to know that in the same situation, we're going to also, our children are going to deal with us. The same situation, because this is a cycle of life. This is the cycle of life. You are born, you grow, you learn, you reproduce, you die, and with all this knowledge, information, and experience, a new being grows, develops, learns, reproduces, dies, and it is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every time. The universe is in complete expansion. This is how energy behaves. So the best we do to give them the more love that we can, the better the situation, the evolution will happen. So that's about the Pact of Souls. And then I would really suggest, and it has been very beautiful in my life, to ask my children, why did you choose me as a mother? My son told me when he was 4 years old, he said, oh, because you were the most beautiful mom. I saw a mom that was so beautiful, so I selected you. And I was like, oh. And I asked my daughter also, that she's 6 years old, why did you choose me? She said, well, because when we were sperm and I was running, I saw that mom that was very strict. And I chose her because she was going to teach me a lot. I was like, oh, you are very profound. 6 years old already saying, and actually I'm very strict with them. So, but you will get very surprised if you ask them, why did you choose me? They don't say, I choose you? No. They never question this. They give you an answer about it. So I invite you to ask them directly, especially because when they are kids, they are more connected. So I'm connected with their intuition, that's what I mean. The second thing, our children are our masters. This I already mentioned, but I would like to get a little bit deeper. Why our masters? Because everything they do, everything they say, they are completely teaching us things. We think that it's the other way around. We think that we're going to teach them behavior, feelings, situations, but no. So remember when you were a child, obviously you are the product of your ancestors, and we have to be thankful for this. But now that you are a mother, consider all what you have learned from your children about yourself. And when you were a child, well, you were not thinking in this. How am I teaching my mother? What am I thinking inside me? What am I changing? No, you just were. With no mind and thoughts and things or feelings. No, you just trust the universe. And this is like the thing that our children teach us more. And it is innocence. Well, first I want to say that children teach us awareness. They teach us consciousness. Why? Because I said that we have an energetic bond. And Dr. Shafali says, each time we become aware of an element of unconsciousness behavior, and with this I mean something that I just come on, what I said had an impact on him. What I did had a big impact on him, and that was not what I meant. That is a moment of awareness. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if they are small or if they are big. Energetically, shifts occurs. Only with myself getting to know that whatever and it can be also a good moment. What I did to him is what is making him proud today. Oh. So it doesn't matter my judgment, how I take it. What you have to know is that whatever moment that I understand the consequence of what I have done is a moment of awareness. And then, as we catch ourselves in an unconscious moment and are able to detach from it, so this is the moment, but even though if I created it, I am not this, so I can make it better or understand that I did it good and continue the same path. But I am here, this is what it happens. And if I can detach from that, we expand our consciousness. Because now I know which step to take later. Am I being clear with this? Okay. So, whenever I notice that I did something that created a consequence in them, that is actually creating a consequence in me, is a moment of awareness. And the more aware I am, the more conscious I can be. So we were saying that the kids teach us something that is beautiful, that we have to go back to this, and it is innocence. Like previously when we were there, being a soul full of love, because there is no other state back there, only love. We were full. We didn't need anything else. And we were completely present. So we come to this world and the kids teach us innocence. So they have this sense of wonder about anything. they come to the same room every day, and it's like, oh. So like they enter into the room and they see this toy, it's like, ah, wonderful, beautiful. So they don't even enter into the room, and we're pushing like, come on. No? Because every little thing surprises them. But we have to do many adaptations to fit in this world when we are adults, because we receive a lot of information. So we change that sense of innocence to fit in the world. So we, as parents or as adults, we lose this sense of wonder. And we change it for taking things for granted. Ah yes, but it's the same tone that you see every day. No? Then, if our capacity of wonder is awake, our inner child is also awake. Because we are going to have the opportunity to thank everything, to be surprised, to live with wonder. Second thing about innocence, they are content. They just are happy. When we try to fit in the world, then we become like emotional unstable. It's like, I know I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling bad. They are okay always. And we think, because we are not in our balance, that we need to do things to make them happy. No, today I'm taking you to bounce. No, tomorrow you're going to have a play date. They are fine. So the one that is not completely, why if we stay here and look at our faces? They're fine. It's more ourselves that don't transmit this state of contentment, because we are not content all the time. Full presence. So, and that's why I put the iPad. Have you seen them how fully present they are? When they take the screens, nothing happens. If not even wanting to go to the bathroom. That is fully present. Well, but even though this is not too good, or not for long periods of time, with fully presence I mean that they have their mind in that moment. No? It's not like us that maybe we are sharing a moment, but we're thinking, what am I going to do for dinner? What am I have to do later? This is my task. This is my responsibility. My mind is not where my body is enjoying the present moment. Many times I am in my past, worried about, I am in my future, dreaming. It can be also positive. I mean, my desires are, my plans, my projects, but I am not living and connecting with the person in that present moment. And they are there. And we need to know that time passes so fast. The opportunity for our teachers, for our children to teach us is short. Maybe when you are caught in the emotion, it seems an eternity. When these guys are going to grow. But when you make a blink of an eye, they already left home, leaving you all these things that you have to learn. It passes really, really quick. So take every moment with fully presence of learning from them, because they are highly intuitive and highly connected. They still don't have their minds full of prejudices. They don't judge. Sometimes when we know that we did wrong, because maybe we scream, we yell, whatever, when we talk to them and we see into their eyes, well, they are going to have fear, but they are not judging you. They don't judge you. You are judging yourself, because you can't believe that you were able to do this to them. They have no prejudices. Instead, we have a lot of prejudices. And that's why, for example, why don't you just laugh and smile at everybody that you cross in your path? No, because I can't go. What is this person going to think? Do you want something with me? Are you flirting? Whatever. No. It's just innocence. Like if they feel like smiling, or if they feel hugging somebody that they don't know, or if they feel, it's just part of that with no prejudices.
Yeah, but sometimes they tell you, no, I hate you. I don't like you did this and that. So you say, yeah, he doesn't have prejudice,
but to say that, they have heard it before. They have had feel it before. So their minds are not like completely empty anymore. They are still being innocent. And this is something that we need to clarify very clear. When an adult acts, we don't come from a state of neutrality, which is innocence. We have an intention with the things that we say, with the things that we do. Kids don't have a bad intention. The older they get, well, it's something that we're transmitting and teaching them. But let's say from 1 to 6 years old, they don't have a bad intention. So the intention of making I forgot to say pataleta, but like the intention of behaving a tantrum. Tantrum. The intention of doing that is not, I'm going to make my mother feel bad. The intention is, I want attention. So like, it's different. There is not a bad intention behind that. Even though if they say, I hate you or I don't like you, the intention is not to make you feel bad. The intention is to let you know how they are feeling. Okay, so the purpose for them basically is to express love. And with this, I will say they have no purpose. Why am I here playing? Because I just want to play here. What am I going to give you this present? What am I going to, why am I doing the breakfast this morning? Because sometimes they want to be like super pro and do a lot of things like, oh, okay. They don't come from the final goals of interest that we as adults have. And they trust life. Life is good for them. So they're not worried about what is going to happen or like if I'm in this place, if I'm safe. So as long as they don't feel that from their parent, they're fine. They're just good where they should be. This changes when we go fit into the normal world because we become full of fears. So what if this? Am I doing good? Am I in the appropriate place? What would happen if I allow them to see too much internet? Like if they go to a pajama party, are they going to be safe? So like, I start getting a lot of fears. And all of these situations can trigger me, but are things that I need to heal. So the best thing that they teach us is their innocence. If we can go back to this for the sense of wonder, contentment, fully present, no judgment, curiosity, love, purpose only to express love, and trust life, we will behave very different. Okay, so the second thing that they teach us is emotional intelligence. And what do I mean for this? Is the reaction. Instead of reacting, is like consciously decide how am I going to manage my feelings according to any given situation. Instead of react, being aware. Kids make us react. It's a fact. They trigger in our wounds, in our pains, in our emotional inheritance. If we go back to see why am I overreacting toward this situation, because sometimes it's just like, oh mom, I'm serving the milk and it's being all spilled. What are you doing? So like, really, is it a situation for me to scream? It is not a situation for me to scream. Like if you thinking objectively. But why am I screaming? I have an emotional inheritance. That means that maybe I saw that behavior before, and that's the one that I know, and that's the one that I do. Somebody screamed at me when I spilled the milk. No judgment. My parents, my grandfathers, or whoever took care of me, my nanny, did the best they do with the information that they had. They wanted to stop spilling the milk. Why? Because maybe the milk was expensive, maybe because it wasn't easy to buy it at that time, maybe because they don't want to clean, whatever. But those were their reasons. But it is my moment to shift into something better. That is what I know, that is what I can learn from this. But it is my opportunity to do the things better from now on. So they trigger in our emotions. And this is something that I think I am forgetting. I already said this, but it also had to do with this. I cannot blame them. I'm going to try to justify all the time that they trigger into my emotions why I am upset. Because nobody wants to be the parent that loses the control of their children. Because the society says, no, but you are the adult, he is the kid, you are in control. We have to take out of our minds the need to be in control. So like, this is not a relationship where I need to dominate. That is not the concept, the new age concept. That's why I go down to the level of my children to be able to explain, because I understand that he is my master, that he has things to teach me. In the other way, I also have to teach him things, but I need to treat them with respect. would you treat your kid in the same way as you treat your husband, for example? Or your friend? No. There should be enough respect in the usage of your words, in the usage of your physical language, of your nonverbal language, with a lot of respect, because our idea is not to hurt them. I remember a friend that shared with me that her husband told her, hey, you're talking to her like if you hate her. But like, no, I love her. Well, but see how you're talking to her, you know? So there is a base of respect, and we cannot transcend this boundary. We need to respect them as equals. Okay, this emotional intelligence can create many sense of guiltiness in ourselves or fears. Whatever it happens, and if we already believe that we have made damage to them, possibly we have already said things that we regret, or we have already done things that we don't want, and we know that subconsciously we already have it, we have to first forgive ourselves. So this is a great relationship that opens our heart chakra, opens our heart and teaches compassion. Compassion with whom? With your own self. The first person I need to forgive is myself. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes, maybe I did it wrong. But this is a moment of awareness. I can do it better the next time. I can apologize. I can explain to my kid, hey, I did this wrong. I'm sorry. Be humble, get into their level with respect. I love you. This is not the way I wanted to treat you. So you can fix things. And if you are able to fix these things, you are making a quantum jump shift. There is an energetic cut of the spiral that is turning you down, of this spiral that we're talking. So acts of love change the direction of the flow of energy. Apologize, show them your feelings, change. So many parents are afraid of showing their feelings, of saying I'm sorry, because I am the authority. So I don't go to my knees to say this or that. This is ego-based. I'm going to go to that later, but what is the best lesson that I can give to them? If you made a mistake, you can correct it, you can apologize. It's not the end of the world. I did a bad mistake, I yelled at you, and I love you. It's the opposite. My mind and my heart wants to love you, but I did something that was not in accordance to that. I'm sorry. Let's start over. They don't have judgment, so that's fine, no problem. They continue with their lives. So I don't damage for 1 minute their whole day. I don't make them sick because I damaged their immune system through the energetic bond that they have. So this is how connected we are in the terms of emotions. The third one, they teach us clarity. Clarity, why? Because we can witness the light and the dark that we have. We can see. And they also teach us the clarity of our inheritance emotion. That is what I already explained to you. We understand why our parents acted in certain ways. Try to not have judgment towards these, but we're going to awake also in that, to be more understandable and more compassionate with our parents. Because now that I'm a parent, I know how difficult it can be. How, in many ways, I trigger my mom's and my father's feelings. So we see this with a different perspective. And then there is a miracle that appears here, and is the forgiveness. Because as being a mother, now we understand what happens with our parents, and now we understand what happens with our children. So in the moment that we heal, that we break out this spiral, we're able to move on in a better way with all our descendants. And this is something, if I provide all their needs, food, shelter, they're going to grow up as secure persons with a balanced survival instinct. After 7 to 12 years old, they develop how they're going to be happy in the world. And how are they going to be happy? How are they going to enjoy every moment of life? According to my example. So, if I'm a positive mom, if I enjoy life, I'm settling the basis from 7 to 12 years old for them to do that. If I am, life happens to me, I am an emotional unstable, that is what I'm going to transmit energetically to them for the rest of their lives. Because that's the base in the moment where it is built. Where they are teenagers, they disconnect, they detach the bond from the parents to us, from their parents, sorry. So they understand that they are different beings. It's where their willpower develops. So they say, okay, one moment. My mother taught me this, but my willpower says something different. Maybe I want to do it like this. So that's why many teenagers become rebel, because they understand that they are not their parents anymore. When they are little, whatever emotional thing that you're facing, they will get it. They will help you to deal with it. When they're teenagers, no. They understand that they have their own emotions, that they have their own feelings, and now our influence is still there, but we need to show them that we are there. We cannot solve their problems. If we solve their problems, we're limiting them to take decisions in the future. So from the moment that they are 12 years old, they need to deal with everything. They can come to us and explain us a bad situation, something that they are facing, and you would like to really not allow them to face this, because we love them, we don't want them to suffer. But what you have to do is ask them, how do you think that you will be better? What does your heart say about solving this situation? Encourage them to solve their own problems, because you are not going to be there all the time. And the criteria to select well is the best thing that we can teach them. It's the best thing that we can give to them, because it's going to be the tool for them to decide, to take decisions, to move forward in life, to be resilient, which is very important, that the actual kids of new generations are lacking. Why my kids are not resilient? Because I'm solving all the problems for them. If I don't watch them fall and allow them to stand up by themselves, I am ruining the ability for them to be resilient. It hurts a lot as a parent. So, what we have to do is be there. You, my little, know that I am here for you, but I cannot make you stand up. You can get my support, you have my shoulder. Come, but you have to do it yourself. Am I making myself clear with this? Okay. So, all of these...
Sorry to interrupt, but if he asks what is the best solution in that situation, he's asking for your suggestion.
Exactly. So you say, I will do it in this way. That's what it comes to my mind. Let's ask that. How would he do it? And now you have two options. And you take your decision. What does your heart says as well? What do you conclude from the way that dad will solve it, from the way that mom will solve it, and how will you solve it?
And don't you think he will be influenced because he doesn't have other
Definitely.
options, so he doesn't think about it and say, oh, my mom says like this. So.
Yes, but it was his decision to agree with you.
Mm.
We're going to influence until they are adults. Remember, they're going to influence until we die. But going in the same process, where they are teenagers, they detach. They are able to think. When they come to adults, they completely detached. They don't even need to call you if they don't want to. Only when they have like serious problems, like, Mom, I remember that you feed me. I have to cook for myself, whatever. But they don't need you anymore. That is a normal relationship. If the adult still need the parents, there is an energetic imbalance. And this is a problem. Because I've seen persons, for example, with Reiki, that they don't get a partner. For them, it's very difficult to find somebody, like, I've tried, I have girlfriends, or I've tried, I have boyfriends, and no, I just can't have like a serious relationship and I would like to go to. And if you go back many times, it's because some of their parents are still occupying that space. So the mom, he's 40 years old, and the mom calls, Amore, but did you have a good breakfast? How are you dealing with your job? Do you want that I come and maybe clean your room? So like, if there is a mom like this, that person energetically cannot invite into his life a partner, because the role of partner is there. Somebody's still, this is energetically and this is absolutely subconscious, but it happens. The roles are there. It happens a lot, for example, if, let's say, the mother becomes a widow and the kid was very young. So the mother would like to occupy energetically the role of the dad with the oldest child. So, did I make it clear? So, sorry, I'm translating in my brain. The thing is that it's not that I'm going to behave, let's say I am the mother. It's not that I'm going to behave like my child is my husband, no. But I'm going to put him tasks of the father. For example, take care of your younger sisters and brothers. You are responsible of them. So like energetically, I am giving him the responsibility, the bond for him to protect the others. Different if I say, you all have to protect all of yourself. I'm not going to be here. But I'm like, you understand what I'm saying. So like we're giving roles energetically that they don't have to have. So these have consequences in the future. Okay, so spirituality. We grow in all levels, and that's what spirituality means. Try to be a better person every day. Okay. What do parents teach to kids? I have already mentioned, like I have been. We influence them until adulthood. We teach them behaviors, values, and emotions. And that's why you say, well, yes, but at the end, he will decide as I do. Yes, he's part of you. He will include that concept, certainly. Maybe he will include other concepts. But this is your legacy. This is what you're going to give him. And especially emotions. Values, okay, it depends on the culture of the society. Emotions. Emotion is very important because that is what you can change. That is what you can do better as a parent. Be emotionally intelligent. And according to your emotions, the behaviors. Because my actions need to be in accordance to how I'm feeling, or they usually are of how I'm feeling. And this is the invitation. Let's act in a conscious way. What I'm feeling, I need to control it. What I'm feeling, I need to change it. What I'm feeling, maybe I need to make it more strong if it's a positive feeling. And then move from that moment, advance from that moment to my behaviors. The words that we use shape the character of the children. They have this amazing, fantastic thing of becoming whatever you say to them. So if every day you say, you are very disorganized, come on, do it, that's what they are. That's what they're going to be.
Label. Yeah, a label that you put on them.
Exactly. Any label that you put on them, anything that you repeat constantly, is what they will become. If every day you tell them, I love you, you're smart, let's do it together. So they're getting encouraged, they're getting supported, they are going to have positive things. So what the words that we use to them are very, very important because they shape their character, especially in young ages. But like the influence is until adulthood, until they are 21. It's a very short period of time if you see that we are going to live 80 years. It's only a quarter. But remember, the influence of them into us is until we die. So if they are 60 years old and you're 85 years old and they come and tell you, Mom, when I was 15 years old you told me this and I'm never going to forget, if it's positive or negative, it's still going to affect me. Teach by example. This is very, very important because if you are not in a line with your mind and with your heart in the things that you teach, which is expressed by you through your non-verbal language, which is expressed by you by your energetic bond, they are going to learn things that you don't want them to learn. This has to be a process of conscience. So I have to be good with myself. I have to reconnect with my spirit and feel good to be able to face parenting. If I'm not feeling good, I have to stand back, recuperate my energy, be centered, and then be able to do so. If not, I'm going to regret many things. I'm going to behave and act unconsciously. So, and this, for example, happens in my family. My husband, for example, has problems with the food. He has a lot of anxiety, so he would like to eat a lot. And my children, my son is becoming a little bit fat as well. The same, so it's like the same. They think the same, they behave the same. And then the father comes and tells him, hey, don't repeat. You should not repeat because you're going to become fat. And I don't want you to be fat. I'm suffering for that. Yes, but if he sees that his father repeats all the time, repeats and repeats. So like, there is no coherence. You first solve the problem before judging your kid. This is basically, I cannot ask them, because it's too much pressure, it's too much responsibility on a little child, to ask them to do what I have not solved in my life. Don't get angry. I am super angry. So like, how come that there is no logic in this? So first you can ask them all what you have already learned, but what you haven't is very difficult, and get to know that you are transmitting that. So teach with example. Here, the real intention of being a better parent every day is the best present we can give to our children, because are these consciously shifts of energy, our evolution, going into different states of consciousness, what makes us better persons and shifting them in a better way. Only our intention. Maybe we are going to make many mistakes in the way, in our journey, but our real intention of becoming a better parent every day changes completely this relationship for a positive outcome. Okay. What are the lessons for parents that we can learn? The first one is to accept that our child is different and an independent being from us. We don't want to create a mini-me, and that's why I put him there. I have to respect that he's the mixture of all the family skills, concepts, values, behaviors of the father's side, and all skills, culture, behaviors of the mother's side. So he is not myself, because he already comes with more information. And if we also consider the shift that Mother Earth is doing, he comes with even more information. There are more evolved beings that are incarnating into this world right now. So, because of this, I need to detach from them. I am not creating a person that is the same like me. So I need to trust. I need to know that his decisions are going to be different. You have to solve it in this way. I would like to dominate. I would like to release my desire of control, because I think that the way that I do is the best. They come to teach me that the things can be resolved and done in different ways, and I have to accept them. Maybe they're teaching me with that as well. So trust. Trust that they have the opportunity to solve the things. For example, when they are teenagers, the mom stay at home and he goes to party at night, no? And like, no, what if something happens? I think that he's in danger. Why don't you trust him? You already gave him the criteria to solve the problems in life. Did you teach him that if something happens, he can call you? Yes. Did you teach him that if he is in danger or something, he can just leave? Yes. Why are you worried? Trust him. Now, when he's a teenager, you detach. If you don't trust, you will suffer a lot, because he is still going to be independent. And criteria. Criteria, as I already mentioned, is the best present that you can give him. And it is the ability to take decisions. Good decisions. Many times when we get mad at them, or when we, for example, we yell at them, come on, you have to do this right now. We have to explain why. In that moment, we don't have the time to explain. So no, you just have to do it because we have to go. But later, do so. The reason why I have to push you a little bit is because I think this was good for you in this way and this way and this way. If you don't open the spaces to explain them why you take certain decisions, they won't understand. If they don't understand, later, when you are not there, they are going to continue with what they think they should do. No? Because my heart is saying that I can just go and play in the thunders. No, come enter, you don't have time. Later, when you have time to explain, if you go out there are a lot of thunders. There are people that have died because they play in the field when there is this storm. If I never explain this, when I am not there, I am putting the boundary of being angry with him. If the boundary is not there, he will go and play outside. Why not? My mom is not here. So, to develop criteria in them, we need to explain the basics, we need to explain the causes. Developing criteria is for them to understand that every cause has a consequence. In spiritual terms, this is called the law of Dharma or the law of karma. Dharma, if it's a positive action, a positive outcome, and karma, if it's a negative action, a negative consequence. But if you know that your acts have a consequence, when you take the decision, validate what is going to be the consequence. And this is the best present that we can give to them, that they have criteria when they take their decisions. That is the reason behind that. Okay, like that, we let them know that they are the creators of their future. And it is the same thing that we are learning today. I am the master of my destiny. This is what I'm creating. Life doesn't happen to me. If today, at this age that we have, between 30s, 40s, and 50s, and you go back to your life and you go behind and you say, do I have a happy life? Do I have a happy outcome with what I've done? You only know if what you have done satisfies you. If you go behind and you say, oh no, I got divorced 3 times, I have kids with 3 different persons, it's a disaster, I don't feel emotional balance, well then is your moment to arrange those things. No? So according to how you feel, you know if you are positively and consciously creating your life or not. And I already explained the problem of being overprotecting. If we overprotect them, if we don't allow them to take their own decisions, we don't encourage them for this, well, we damage the possibility of being them their creators, of having their criteria, and of trusting them. Because why do I have to impose on top of them? Because I don't trust them. You're never going to do it right. Do it as your mom says. You're going to fail. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to hurt yourself. That is lack of trust. Okay, second lesson for parents. We shouldn't project our ego in our children. Why? Every time that I act or behave from my fears, I am projecting my ego on them. What is ego? Somebody would like to explain me? What do you understand by ego?
Rosy.
You're not going to explain the ego.
You're in the back level.
I don't know, I think the way that you want your kids to behave because you want to be proud of them, because you want them to do whatever you wanted to do in life and you haven't done it. And if your kid do that, then you will be happy and your ego will rise. But you just have to, like, you just have to kind of parent each child as the way they are and not the way you think you want them.
They should be. That's a very important concept. We create. Okay, go ahead.
No, but ego in terms not with us and our kids. I just searched the definition, and it's a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance.
Bueno, in spiritual terms, that is not what it means.
No.
Because, like, yes, ego, and if you go to the Freud concept of ego, like you have the super ego, and the unconscious. And psychologically that definition will be accurate. But in spiritual terms, the ego is the voice in our mind that is constantly saying and persuading us to do things or that sabotage our positive thinking. No? When we are there and somebody is telling you, no, you can't, like somebody inside your mind, I mean, no, you can't do it. No, this is wrong. Or like, yes, go for it. Following your desires, following your weakness. You have to eat that cake. But I already eat a piece. No, go ahead. It makes you feel good. So things, a voice in your mind that controls you, basically. And your heart has another voice. Your heart says, no, maybe this is not good for you. That is not what you want. No, but go ahead. Nothing happens. So we have a dual internal dialogue. One that says things and the other one that makes us feel. If the things that we're saying are not aligned with the things that we're feeling, we're going to feel bad at the end. So we know that we were taking decisions from the ego. And if the opposite, if I heard the voice and I act in accordance, I'm going to feel good. So I know that it came from my heart. Actually, when your kids do something or they are caught in an emotion, you can ask them, where are you feeling? No, I feel very bad because I went to the soccer game and we didn't win and this guy told me that I was not good enough and I received bullying, whatever. Where are you? How did you act? No, I scream at him. Where do you feel it? Here, in the stomach. Okay, it's your ego. Are you feeling sad? Where do you feel it? Here, in my heart. It's from your heart. They are more connected. So for them, the difference, if they are acting from their heart or from their mind, is more clear than from us. But you can do the same exercise to know if you're acting from your ego or from your heart. Where do you feel it? This is very important. Something that you mentioned, expectations. Every time that I have an expectation on my child means that there is something that I am lacking. For example, I couldn't be a gymnastic. I just couldn't be. Maybe my parents didn't have the time or the money to put me in classes, but I want my girl to be the best gymnastic ever. I don't want to go gymnastics. I want to play soccer. No. You're a girl. You have to do gymnastics. No, but this is not. So my expectations on them is too big. Sometimes we want them to do many things that we didn't even do. And this is a lot of responsibility and charge, and that will create anxiety in them. Because actually they are not taking their own decisions. I am deciding for him. Domination. Every time that I'm going to impose something, this is how it is because it is how it is. Again, from my ego. And in our case, it's very important that we balance this relationship, so like to really fulfill our child with a balanced energy that we discuss with our husband or with our partner. Because it will be the male energy and the female energy creating an outcome. So the decision is going to be more balanced. Both, if the decision is only taken by the father and the mother says, no, I have to respect it. Or only taken by the mother and the father is like, I don't care, whatever she does. She's in charge of the education of the children. It is going to be an unbalanced decision and it's going to turn to domination. And domination spends the spirit of uniqueness of the child. How different would it be if I honor himself for what he really is? If he knows that he's loved because he just came to this world and not because he's doing what I want him to do. Oh, you behave so well today, I love you. What I'm saying is, I am conditioning my love for how you behave. So they are always going to try to do this, to praise them, they're always looking for our attention. They're always looking to receive the love. And if they understand that the way of receiving love is doing what we force them to do, they are never going to be free spirits. Today is you, but later is going to be his wife or he or her husband. Always doing, pleasing, serving others in order to feel loved. And this is not, so like they need to find love in themselves for what they are, not for what others judge on them. The sense of superiority that I also explained already. Never in any relationship, if you are above or below of anybody, not only in your child, but of anybody, is good for your soul. This is unhealthy for your soul. Every time that I believe that I am superior to my gardener, or that I am superior, or that I am below this Dalai Lama, or that I am below the president, I am draining my energy with this. We all come to develop a purpose in life. Your purpose is not to be the president of South Africa. The purpose is for you to raise well this family. We all have different purposes. The level of importance is an illusion. It's not something tangible, it's not something real, it's not something that you take after you die. But the amount of love that you put in every situation is real. Is what it's really going to count at the end, what you're taking with you. So superiority doesn't really serve us. Like the daughter of Sadhguru said, hey, but you go and teach everybody in the world, you have taught a lot to many people, you have changed many people's lives, and I know you have been there, you love me, but teach me something. I am your daughter. And he said, the best thing that I can teach you is that you should never feel better or lower than anybody. If you know that you are very important and you have your own self-value, you will take the world in your hands. So, in order for us not to act from our ego, the first thing that we need to do is accept ourselves.
Yeah, but how you put also the rules, because it's okay, but then he said, okay, today I want to have cereals for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm superior, but I know more about what is good for you to eat. No, that it will be better the carrots than having that.
Mm-hmm. Boundaries are very important, and I'm going to explain them a little bit. So like, we need to know that
you need to be in control in some way. Because if he does what he wants, no, I say until
doesn't mean superiority.
no, not superiority, but how. So the thing is that okay, all the explanation, but how you
How can
take
you
control? Because in any case, you need to take control. He cannot be on the garden and screaming at 10 in the night if tomorrow morning he needs to go to school.
exactly.
So
Well,
okay, in any case,
even God that loves us unconditionally, that forgives everything, doesn't give us all what we want. Even God gives you what it is good for your highest good. And He doesn't explain it. So you receive in life what you receive in life. So even with kids, the best that we explain, the better for him to take later the decision. I know that you want the cereal for lunch, but you haven't eaten your protein, you're going to need their energy. This is the best for you in this given moment. Maybe later you will understand it. And later, after eating what it is better serves you right now, you can have a little bit of cereal for dessert, whatever. But boundaries are very important. And the more they understand that we're taking their decisions for their higher sake, the more they will listen to us. But imposition and domination is like, she's fighting with me. I need to defend myself. I'm not going to do it. Oh, yes, I'm eating. I finished. Because what is the boundary? The boundary that you're putting there is a person's feeling. So when the person is not there, then no need. My mom is not here. Cereal, bring it on. Because I don't understand the consequence of this in my life. So I'm not developing criteria. Other thing, when you try to persuade your kids with guiltiness, if you don't eat all what you have in your dish, there are many people that are dying in Africa, do you know? They don't have anything to eat.
this is very Latino.
So, yes, maybe I'm putting very Latin example. But you have to eat all if we're getting a standard. Because many persons don't have to eat. So, if the child is intelligent enough to question, they can say, okay, so if I eat all, they are going to eat as well? No, there's not a relationship between this and that. But what I'm trying to tell them is, if you feel guilty, maybe my intention as a mother is not that. My intention is like, feel.
It's in my family, like I've worked very hard to try to get this into me, to try not to think that I have to control over everything and I'm the boss. So I tell my daughter we're a team. And in my house we're a team and we work as a team. And when you throw the toys, for example, and sometimes you just go on to give you toys, you need to give you toys. But then I have one of those conscious moments and I say, well, I need to explain to her,
No,
and then she comes and says to me,
for me.
and she says, okay, but you help me? And I say, okay, we will do it together. And because she comes and says to me, okay, will you help me? Because remember, Mommy, we're a team. I say, okay. And then she said, you pick up the big toys and I pick up the small toys. And I say, okay, let's go. And then we do it together. And sometimes she does it on her own without me saying anything to her. Or when we brush our teeth as well, like I said to her, okay, you need to brush your teeth because they're going to be yellow and then they're going to be black and then they're going to fall out. My mom has, in the teeth that comes out, and I think, and they're going to fall out like Abuelita Gladys. I said, yes. So she's like, okay, and then sometimes I forget brushing the teeth and she said, Mom, you didn't brush my teeth. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go brush the
See,
teeth.
so she already, and what you say about the toys is very important because when you share time, the thing that the kids more want is that you share time with them, that you put attention to them. So the way that she's going to conceive in her mind picking up the toys is a positive moment because I'm with my mom, because we are a team, because we are doing things together. And I can do it by myself as well, yes. Maybe she's going to demand always to do it with you. Sometimes you can explain, today I can help you because I have the time. So, because they know how to also control like rabbits, no? So it is a complete balance and awareness.
Now my kids say, okay, I'm the coach and you pick up everything and I will tell you if it's okay or not. Okay.
Okay, yes, I do. So yes, so we have to balance and measure, and every case is unique. And get to know that if you have that child and that child selected you, is because you are the perfect complement for both of the souls to develop. Every time that somebody comes and tells you, oh no, you're not doing it well, the way to do it is this, or I strongly recommend that you change. Hey, it's my own journey, are my own lessons. Obviously, I can be aware because sometimes messages come through somebody. I will listen, but I will accept and put part of my reality what I consider is the best, okay? All right, so all this part of my ego, I need to change it for unconditional love. And that's why I put here celebration. We need to celebrate their existence. Why? Because they existed. Only because they are being. If we validate their lives as a creature, as a being, if that's what the most value I can give, only your presence. And I can help this process being thankful. So I can tell them every day, I'm so happy, I'm so thankful that you came to my life. I love you for how you are. I know maybe you made this mistake. I know maybe you're behaving in a moment of that he's really doing a tantrum. You can say, I know you're not in your emotions right now, but I'm going to love you and try not to get engaged with that. See? So like, they need to know that we validate them, that we accept them and honor for what they really are. Because if we only praise or we only tell them good things when they have done something, you know, like if they win the soccer team, or if they clean up the room, or if they, I don't know, when they have done things, then they are going to be always conditioned to have results. Life doesn't always show us results, and maybe the results that life shows us are negative. So that means that I have no value? No, that is not what it means, because that was a lesson that you need to learn. But be resilient. Get up and continue. So this is very important. Accept ourselves. In the process of accepting our children, we accept ourselves. Get to know that if you judge a lot your child, that if you, I don't know why he resists, I don't know why he behaves like that, and just like you're resisting, means that you don't accept what you're seeing in them, or what you're seeing in him, in you. I can't stand the disorder, he's so disorganized. Well, maybe it's your moment to open your mind to know that you're not going to die from disorder. So many things, but we have to look in all directions. To all of us.
But just to say that, you're so right. because I've got two very disorganized kids and my husband and I are very disorganized. But it irritates me that they're disorganized, you know. So it's and we fight a lot about that kind of thing. But I mean, it's really a journey that I'm the same, you know.
And you know what? In spirituality, when we do learn a lesson from somebody, for example, your husband is also your master. So he already came and showed you that that there is a possibility of being a son of God, being disorganized. But we don't really learn the lesson like that, so we need more and more and more until eventually we learn it.
But then you blame him, as I do. Like, he does like this because you do the same. You leave it in disorder, these things, and then also they copy. And then you have three in the same situation.
See, we have to
We are
put
learning
boundaries.
still that one.
Exactly, but it is a game of balance all the time. So we need to say our truth. We need to say, I am bothered when I see this. You help me because you are also the example. So please, let's do this together. But maybe he's still not going to change. And you're still going to suffer every day for that. So what is your decision? Continue suffering? So you're not going to divorce for disorder. So there are defects that we can understand and defects that we cannot. But it is not fair with us to every day intoxicate my body with bad hormones because I see a t-shirt on the floor. If every day I see the t-shirt, so like, I am intoxicated by my body. He is not caring. He is not noticing. He is not going to change. But I can change. And that's a spirituality.
So I changed to do what?
Not to care about that.
Not to worry about it.
Yes, no. I don't like it. You don't
I know what you really. I know how it
If that
starts.
bothers you, you just pick it up and put it somewhere.
But you can stop it each
I
other.
don't fight about it, pick it up.
And is that okay? Just to pick it up and just do it?
No, we
But
need
you
to
must
speak
hide
our
it.
truth. Now we need to explain them. So like, and this is very important. For example, what you can do with your children is how do you feel? One day you don't pick up anything. So 1 week, so like you have to have a lot of peace of mind. But after 1 week you say, okay, let's go to the kitchen. Let's jump all these because we can fall and look all what you have thrown. How do you feel? How do you feel with those things?
And they don't care.
No, they don't care. Like really, they do care. It's completely different when they see, for example, like to have the house neat and that everything is in place and that everything is clean. It feels good. You think they don't care, but when they don't find a spoon to eat, because probably they have their like, you know, the panties like that, all dirty.
You don't find the sunblock because he's on a bag for 2 months and you find it on his bed. It's like, oh, but he don't care because he's like, oh, I shouldn't buy another sunblock.
No, yes, and the sunblock may be something that is going for them really difficult to care for
That is the
because
thing.
they don't know the consequence of getting burned. But if one day they get burned, they will want to have the sunblock, I promise. But sometimes we need to let them face this consequence. You know what I mean? If we solve it for them, they will never understand that it's a better way. And that's how we learn. We need to see how we feel when we don't have that, when we lack that, to really value what is it to have it. And that's why I'll give you the word no. Every time that the kids leave home, they call mom saying, oh no, this is so disorganized. Oh no, I am hungry. Oh no, I miss your food. Oh no, because they really give value to all the things that they took for granted. But they take it for granted because we are allowing them to take it for granted, because we are not giving them the responsibility to do so. And many times we're going to have to stand back and observe and control ourselves.
So my son doesn't, like, no matter how many times I talk to him about rotting teeth and black and yellow and bad breath, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about brushing his teeth. So I resort to, if you don't brush your teeth, I will be mad at you.
Yes, you change it to that.
You need
So
to bring him to the dentist.
I do.
And he has no cavities, it's perfect.
They do. He's really good for about a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then
How old is he?
he just turned 8.
Okay.
And then he's back to the same.
They-
Well, but mothers, we need to be constant. Remember, it's a short period of time, 20 years. But we have to be there. We think sometimes of the impact because we don't see immediately the results. But every day, the same story, it becomes like in the subconscious, it will stay. It will stay. So look,
Yeah,
like,
you have to trust
see?
the process.
You have to trust the process, you have to do it right. Try not to get emotional. No, I don't want to. We have to. Come, let's do it tonight. Other day you're super happy and you're very creative. Today we're going to brush our teeth like Superman. Ah! The next day you're like, you just have to brush your teeth. Okay. So,
But a friend of mine the other day told me something that it's a stick in my mind. You have to pick up your, you have to pick your fights.
Yes.
Like if it's worth it this to fight for this, or maybe I just move on and, because if you fight about everything, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be
it's
miserable.
such a draining of energy.
Yeah, of course.
Such
You
a draining.
feel terrible at the end.
Exactly.
And I guess it's like, when they were babies and you want them to sleep through the night, you think it's going to last forever, but eventually they go to sleep.
Exactly.
I was going to say, as they get older, then it's for example, schoolwork, because you say to them, you have to study, you have to do your homework, and then eventually they don't want to do it. You let them not do it. Then it becomes quite tricky because now you know they're going to fail. You don't want them to fail.
Exactly.
No, but it's the teacher then that needs to, okay, so you didn't do it, and then when he comes, it's like, okay.
Yes, you say that, but when you're paying their school fees and they come on and they fail, and also then, for example, a subject like maths, where you can't fail and then catch up, like it just gets worse and worse and worse. So then how much do you give and how much do you allow? It's very difficult.
Very, very difficult. That's why we're here. Boundaries are very important. There are things that are not negotiable.
Yeah.
Like, you have to study. What is your duty? What is your responsibility here? Is study. You don't have to pay the house. You don't have to receive an income to do this. You don't have. That is your responsibility. If you don't want to do it now, okay, take a 20-minute break. 20 minutes, because you still need to go to bed at 8, whatever, and you still need to do your homework. I don't want to be the police officer to see if you do it or not, but you will have to do it. So let's consider. You can also try to have like a playful approach. You don't want, you're tired, let's do this, but then you will have to do it. Let's reach an agreement in which he feels committed, in which he takes the compromise, where he takes the responsibility. It's part of life. How many times we have to do in life things that we don't want to do? But we have to do it, even being adults. And we procrastinate. But eventually, we have to.
So if I say, I just want to know, so am I using my superiority then? Because
Get inside yourself and ask for guidance. We are very intelligent and we are very creative. What it is very important is that you don't get engaged with it. Because when we're using our superiority or our ego, it's because we are already engaged. It's because you already have an expectation of what you want him to do. So, ask for your inner guidance. I'm sure that you will receive the accurate way to deal with that, because that's a very particular situation and your kid, so like if I share with you, it's not going to be the same because maybe your child takes different approach. I don't know him, I don't know you, many things.
Yeah.
It was a resource that you used at that time. Now you have other background of understanding that maybe that is not the correct approach. It is not correct or incorrect, that is a judgment. But now you know more information to give you. So I suggest that you go inside you and be creative. Enjoy the process of parenting. It is an opportunity for us to be a better person. Not all the days we have all the energy to embrace it and say, I say yes to parenting and I say thank you. Not all the days we are like that. But if that is our motto, if that is like the slogan that we are going to use, believe me, from a deeper perspective, you will receive better answers. Okay, what are the new values? So, all this, what I already explained you, is like the diagnosis. But today, we are in a shift of consciousness. It is not only what you deal in your family, it's the whole world, it's the whole earth. We are opening to different things. And These things are basically to make us evolve, to make us to be better persons. So we need to be open-minded and understand that now, before our parents did what they had to do, because of lack of information, but we have to be better than our parents. That means evolution. Before, the concept was like you have to be the best. You have to compete. The world has a lot of people that want to do the same, so you have to do good, you have to do better in order to win. We have to change that for cooperation. Cooperation means that we all together will have a better outcome than if you do it only by yourself. It means that I have to change be the best for do your best. Why? Because if I tell them you do your best, they are going to have inner satisfaction. The value that they are going to get from themselves come from within. If I tell them you have to be the best, they are always going to look for a reward. Somebody needs to tell me that I'm doing it, that I'm the best. I am the best compared to others. So that is going to be a person very weak. Because if in the future he can't be the best, and if he sees everybody like a possible competitor, then all of them are my enemies. Imagine, it's a person that will live like attacked all the time. If I see that this person does it best and it's my inspiration, if me as a father or as a mother teach them that I can praise and really value other people's goals, other people's challenges, other people's results, but I truly feel good and blessed and inspired for them, then I'm going to embrace those things into my life. We cooperate. If somebody did it well, he is my inspiration, I can do it. That person is showing me that it is possible. So this is a new concept that is changing from our past generation to this generation. The need of cooperation. The world is in serious danger. Many species are living. If we don't work together, we are not going to have a world for our grandchildren, or maybe for our grandchildren. It's going to be very immediate. So this is the first concept for the new age. The second one, don't create a sense of the speciality, of special in your child. Every time that I tell them, you are so special, you are special, I am dividing, I am not allowing the sense of cooperation. In the spiritual terms, it is called the unity, the conscious of unity, that I know that I am connected with all of you. I am connected with the life at every place. I am connected with the plant, I am connected with the bird, I am connected with the soil. We are all part of that. I need to die to feed the grass, to feed the soil, to have better plants later on. So it's a cycle, we are all connected. If we can't understand this, we're not going to tell them to be special, because we go back to the concept of feeling above or below somebody. We are all equal. We all have a specific talent. That's why I don't need to compete, because my purpose in this life, only myself can do it. Nobody else. We study the same, we are in the same country, we are in the same place, we're having the same job. But what I can do and give to this job will never be the same that you can give to the job. So like we all enrich the thing that we're doing. So no need to compete, no need to feel superior, no need to feel special. Okay? Other part of the new values, teaching with fear. This is a very deep concept, and I think it's one of the hardest for us.
It's how we learned.
It's how we learn, in a way.
To unlearn that. Yeah.
Exactly. But remember, we can do it better, because now we have more information that our parents didn't have. So not from judging them, forgiveness and compassion to them, and stand up in an upper level to see how can we do it better. We already see every time that we use force on the children is our desire of control. Desire of control is a symptom of something that you need to heal. Take it like that. Every time that I have desire of control, I already was triggered. Every time that I have a trigger, I need to heal something in myself. Desire of control needs to take me to a state of detachment of the situation and turn on in tune with my creativity to see how can I be so intelligent to solve this. You are never going to face a situation that you cannot solve by yourself. You are ready for it. Get to know that you are prepared to face every situation. You get into that situation because you already created and you can face it. You can. Don't doubt that. But be centered to be able to think positively and with creativity. And then go. Face it. Never use punishment. Like, punishment is very bad in our kids. Punishment is part of our society because the Western society condemns. The Western society has a very big value that is very deep in our subconscious that is called justice. But justice is the same as revenge, which means every time that you do something wrong, that you made a mistake, you deserve punishment. You deserve that we apply in you because you make a bad act, you need to receive a bad act on you. It is a method from guilty to perpetrate the bad energy that has been created already. Justice is blind, and that's why I put her there. As long as somebody pay her, she has no problem. She only needs to receive that back. But that is not love. That is not spirituality. Punishment comes from fear. Spirituality works from love, from forgiveness. To change the word sin or terrible to mistake. You made a mistake. You need to repair. You need to come back to you, forgive yourself because you did something wrong. My little child, I love you and I'm going to love you. It doesn't matter if you're the worst criminal, I'm going to love you. But you need to repair what you did, because this has a consequence. But not with a punishment. So, the punishment, I will suggest that we change, for example, the timeout. The timeout period is a moment of punishment. Why? Because my intention behind the timeout is, I don't want to see you. I don't want to deal with this. You go to the corner. And then it is supposed that we have the time to think and all that. Completely different if sending to prison, instead of sending them to prison, I said, okay, this situation can't continue like that. We are going, both of us, to the chair of peace. So I'm going to sit in this chair and you're going to sit in that chair until we return our peace. Because we love each other. We don't want to hurt each other. I don't want to tell you things that I'm going to regret, and you shouldn't tell me things that you will later regret because I think you love me. So let's go and sit here in this chair until we both recuperate our peace.
He doesn't sit down.
Together.
It's something that you will have to really, like, if they have to go to the corner, they can go to the peace chair.
Together, you can send him alone to go to the peace chair.
No, you can send him to go to the peace chair. But why I'm saying let's go together is because I think that I'm already out of control.
Okay. So
Because you both need to
control.
You both need to recover your.
Exactly. You both. This is the new perspective. Exactly. This is the new part. Is understanding that if I'm triggered, the person that is healing is me. He's behaving with innocence. Whatever he's doing, he's not parting from a negative state. He's not. His intention is not to make damage. His intention, yes, maybe he's creating a disaster, but his intention is not to do that. It's because he doesn't measure the consequences, and that's the part of the innocence. But instead, I do know the consequence. So I'm like, I cannot stand. I cannot believe. I cannot resist what you're doing. So who needs to go to the terminal? To the how do you call it? To his chair. See, it's me, not him. That's what I'm saying. But obviously, if you're completely centered, you can say you are the one who needs the peace chair.
And what about older children? Because we're dealing with early teens and that. So, I mean, I understand that younger children don't understand and all of that kind of thing, but we definitely have children that understand
Exactly.
what they're doing and being devious. So, I mean,
So in your case, they're not going to use the peace chair, but you can. So what is the peace chair can be a moment of just closing your eyes and say, okay, how am I going to deal with this? I need my internal guidance. Why? What you need to try to do, especially if they are teenagers, you need to know that your influence is not as strong already. So what you already did, you already did. In little children, there is still like a possibility. But it is not, it means that it is too late.
There is life, there is hope.
Do it now, do it well now.
In teenagers, we have to allow them to get their own conclusions. We need to be centered and explain. And believe me, the influence is very big. They are going to say no. But there is something that will stay. And the more constant that you are with the same concept, because you're going to face many situations in which you can still say the same concept. No? You are going to able, at the end, they are going to have it, to reach it, to embrace it. They are going to basically record it in their subconscious, for sure. So don't think because of their reaction that they are not paying attention. Don't think because of their reaction that they are not valuing what you're saying. So get to know that this is a normal process that happens to all human beings, and even when they are teenagers, you are still very influential on them. The important here is to know that you cannot force them. They have to take their own decision because they already detached the energetic cord from you. So they need to reach into their own conclusions, which means that you can only say, suggest, example, and they will get into the conclusion. But you have to be constant, and you have to do always the same, and you have to keep thinking and don't surrender of daily saying this. That's why I'm telling you, so like, you have to study. You just have to study. And you have to study until you are 24. You're 16 today, okay? Other 8 years, but you have to do it. Later you will see what you do with your life. But this is my thing right now. Why? Because I want the best for you.
And what about dealing with devious behavior? So I understand the studying and whatever. So we had an incident last night. So my son is almost 12 and we've got a boundary, almost 13.
That's a big change.
We're in this big change, and so that separation is definitely, we no longer embeds babies and things like that. We've got rules around the cell phone, because the cell phone rules our entire lives, and we're at that stage where it's everything. And then so there's certain times and there's certain procedures that go around that. So my son came last night into the room and he came to say goodnight, and I've got the phones and the devices there on the side of the bed and that kind of thing, and I was in the bath and he came and he said goodnight to me, and then he went to say goodnight to my husband, and then he kind of wandered round to the bed and then he left to go to sleep. And then a little while later my husband said, it was a little bit weird, that he had wandered, and that kind of thing. So when I got out the bath and that kind of thing, then I looked, and then one of the phones, his phone was not there. So now I left the room and I went to go and say, what's up? He was all, So I mean, if you're not gonna, I punished him. I said to him, now you've lost your phone. And that kind of thing. It's now become mine, and you broke the rules. These were the rules and these were the boundaries. And that kind of thing. So,
that is perfect what you did. But were you centered?
I think initially I was furious and that kind of thing. So it's sort of in two parts. So I kind of said, well, that's it. You've lost your phone, and how dare you treat me, and you think I'm stupid, and and you've been devious and that kind of thing. In the morning and that kind of thing, then I said to him, do you understand what happened? And that kind of thing, and why did you take it? And he says, I don't know, I just thought he never has an answer. There's never an answer as to why I did it, I just did it. And there's that, obviously, impulsivity there.
But I feel very identified, and I realize that when I am very emotional, he's just distracted about my reaction. So he doesn't think about the consequences or the lack of trust and all these things. But as you say, as you repair later, then is the time that he can reflect on it. So the important is that he also connect, as she said, they are not so connected at this time, because on the 8, 9, they are on the Rubicon, so they detach from the world, and so they go to the world that we are now. So what I found, mine is almost 11, that I realized that he's very distracted about my things, but when it's not like that, then he thinks about, he did the same with the mobile. He go to the kitchen, I'm having some water. But because for me, it's not, I don't want to have it with me, it's in the kitchen, it's there. So I trust you that you are not going there. And he did it, and I told him, I know that it's 2 nights that you take the mobile, and this is not the deal that we did. And I explained to you that then you cannot sleep, and it's because of this. Because he has also a very bad sleeping thing always. It's like, so this is the consequence, because your eyes awake, they think it's day, and then you cannot sleep. And so then he was like, okay, he felt like, okay, he catch me, but he didn't reflect on my mood, because I did it before, like you said, also I'm like, and then he didn't think about, but the second time that it was like this, he didn't do it again, because he reflected on, this is the deal, these are the rules. And he thought about himself and the lack of trust then in our relationship. Then I cannot trust in you. And I don't want to take all the stuff because I don't trust in you. So just think about the consequences of your acts, because it's 2 things. You lie, and then so you lie to you lie to me, and then the relationship with us. So, but yeah, the control, I must say that it's also very difficult, but it depends on the day and the day that you manage. You can see that they think about them, and they reflect, and this is the intention, that they connect with themselves, as we are trying to do with us. We are trying to connect with ourselves as we were when we were children. We need to do the same with them, that they don't lose that connection with themselves. And it's like, yeah, right.
See, the what is needed. The how is what we can change. And we know them well. So we know when they are listening or when they are not. Trust in the process. Trust in yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. So don't blame yourself. Like, just do your best and try to not put the emotionality, because that is what damages the situation. All right.
But it's really difficult.
It's very difficult.
It's so easy. Like, you need a lot of hours of
It is so difficult, and that's why I explained at the beginning. The professionals that study this, that have the theory, when they are parents, they can't. It's like that. If theory is not the same as living it, because you trigger it many times. But why is it part of life? Why this is the most important relationship in your life? Because it's the one that more teaches you, that more touches deep inside you, your wants, your something. For example, something that comes from our ego. I am a good person because I love my kids. I really love them. I'm a really good father. I am there for them. I pay their education. I am, no? You think all that, but that is not what a real parent should be. But loving your child doesn't make you a good person. Your child is an extent of your ego. So like, your child is the extent of your energy, and that's why we have so much expectations on them, because we want that they perform all what we couldn't do. You know, the expectation of them to be better than us. Loving our children is only loving ourselves. Seeing them with the good and the bad, it hurts so much, because I'm seeing inside myself what it is good and bad for me, for my own judgment. So it is a journey. For parents, it's a journey for the rest of your life, for the rest of our lives. For them, it's a journey only until they are adult, until they completely detach from us. All right, let's go. So clear, punishment is the same as revenge, and we have to change for all these. We have to change for not saying that they are bad persons. No, we will correct that behavior. So if they do something really bad, let's say that they hit the sister, that they steal something. So something that for us, for our judgment, is really, really bad. So like, we cannot understand how my child, comes from my ego, was able to do that bad thing, comes from my judgment. But it happened. Am I going to hate him? Or am I going to forgive him, explain, correct him, and tell him, you have a second chance of doing it correct. I will love you, but am I I will forgive you, but we have to correct. And I will do this, I'll forgive you because I love you. And I have to be patient. Patience, like the system of rewards right now, and it is in all the schools, it is everywhere. It's like, if you do good, I'll give you the sticker. If you do good, you will receive the diploma at the end of the year. If you do good, well then, you're going to be nominated for the scholarship, whatever. If you do wrong, you have to write thousands of times, I am going to be okay. Well, but you will receive, or you won't receive. You will only see my bad face. You don't deserve because you did wrong. So these again condition the kid or the adult or like the teenager for external judgment. No, it's nothing that comes from their personal satisfaction. Everything that is outside. This is the base of capitalism. This is the base of basically a process of domestication. When you domesticate, it's what we do in animals. No? We force them to do what we want them to do just because. So we don't let them, or we don't pay attention to see what is the gift that they can give to us. So we condition them. And the more conditioned they are, the less possibility for them to blossom as a spirit. So later, they'll always be thinking, I am less than, because I really couldn't reach the reward. I am not enough for. Or if they reach the reward, they are not internally happy. Right now, we need to educate for being happy. So like we are actually already happy. They need to know that they are in a state of contentment, of happiness. It's not something that they are going to reach outside. But if I condition their happiness or their wellness for a reward for something that is outside, this is going to be basically the basis of slavery, internal slavery. It's a mental state of depending on what is going on outside for me to feel good. Hitting and yelling. If when you were a child, you were hit or you were yelled at, well, get to know that you can do it better. Get to know that it is part of your DNA and of your inheritance emotions, and maybe when you are going to deal with parenting, this is going to come out from you. So don't blame yourself for that. It's there, it's in your subconscious. But what you need to know is that you can do better. None of this helps the education of the kid, not even your soul. Both souls are going to be deeply affected with yelling, because remember that the spoken word is the creation, and with hitting. Hitting is hitting in all the levels of energy, physically, emotionally, mentally. Mentally, why? Because the person that is supposed to love me more, my mother, my father, is damaging me. So I don't see the coherence between these two. And spiritually. Spiritually, what you're doing is you're damaging the cord, the energetic bond that you have with them. So, like, both things, forgiveness, being humble, apologize, everything, is like a quantum jump to something different. Because you are changing a situation that is very negative, with very bad and energetical consequences, to a place of love. So at the end, it is a very good opportunity. It is very bad, yes, but if you have faith or you have passed through it, don't condemn yourself with guiltiness, because guiltiness is what is the feeling that more damages your energy. It's the lowest feeling. You have to move for, okay, I build myself again, and I'm resilient to continue repairing this damage. And for this, instead of hitting and yelling, we have to change it for patience and for attention. My desire will be control the situation and maybe yelling to stop it. Or maybe hit him to just change and everybody being silent. No? Hit maybe the door. It's like, what happened? But instead of doing that, I need to know that I need to go back to myself. Be patient. Deal with my emotion. There are many ways of dealing with the emotion. There are many seminars or other things that you can do. Breathing, screaming, for example in yoga with the heart movement, there are many ways. In NPL, you can have a trigger, for example, an anchor. You can do an anchor. So there are many ways. If this is your case, search what will more serve you, not to fall into hitting and yelling, to be able to have the good value of patience before acting or reacting, and put full attention in what is going on, in how he is behaving and accepting all what is happening, and how you are burning inside, and how you are having the bubbles, and where are you feeling it, and detach, because you are not that. So, like one technique is like, I feel it here in my stomach. I'm very angry with the situation. Okay, what color do I see it? I see it intense red. Okay, what shape? I see like a fireball full of spikes, and it's hurting me and it is consuming me. Okay, but if I see it, if I feel it, if I give it a shape, I can say internally, I'm going to get out, take this out of myself. This is not me. I want to love my child. I need to accept the situation. I want to go with the flow. I want to teach with love. But until I don't get rid of you, I could not act, because I'm not going to be able to act from a place of love. Words is something that you receive with your brain and with your feeling, and then if you accept them, if you decide to take it part of your reality, you will. But if you decide not, you're closed and it's not part of your reality. But with a scream in a kid, because we are so connected, you're really putting it into their emotional body, in the subconscious, not in the conscious. If they are already teenagers or adults, it goes to their conscious. Part in the subconscious, but mostly in the conscious. But when they are little, it goes directly into their unconscious. So they are going to manifest that in many opportunities in their lives. That is really not what we want. So that is not what we want from love, but it just happens. you ready? Well, this is very important. I already touched it in different ways. So yes, magnific. We have to give them self-expression with all what I said before. But we are not their friends. We are not the grandparents. The grandparents already put the boundaries in us, and now they just can enjoy the kids. We are the parents. If somebody needs to put rules, it's us. So also don't feel guilty or something if you put the rules, because this is absolutely necessary. And as I mentioned before, God doesn't give us all. He gives to us what we need for our highest good. So we have rules. If we don't have our own rules, the world is in charge of putting our rules. So if we are growing up emperors, and I have met a couple of kids that are like that, like, what do you want? You want food? You want this? You want to keep in the PlayStation? Do you need this? That's what you, okay, let me do. And many parents try to satisfy all their needs, but first, the objective. This is a need, or this is like something that he wants. Many times, kids can be very, very demanding, and they will drain you unless you put the boundary. So the need is very important that you establish if it's a need or if it's something that they want. You have to provide their needs, but they need to value them. They need to know that there is a job, a work, an energetic procedure, maybe money, maybe time, many things behind everything. So they will not try to suck you, but to understand that because there is a lot of work, time, things involved in obtaining it, I'm going to give it value to what they want, if we're talking about something physical, or to your time, because sometimes remember that what they really want is attention and love. And even for a mother that works and for a father that works, it's difficult to give them full attention and full love. So they need to understand that they also need to appreciate that. And the most important is, if they don't have boundaries, later they won't fit in the sandbox of life, so with everybody. We're raising the emperor, then he goes to the school and he's not the emperor anymore. There are many other emperors, so there are going to be a lot of conflict and they're going to feel bad. The process of adaptation from the child to the university, for example, or to the environment where they are not the center of attention is difficult, if that is what we have created. And we don't want them to suffer. So boundaries are very important for them to know that they need to adapt in a positive way to the things, but that they also have their criteria. Because there are many laws or boundaries, like they should not act or receive the boundary because they fear it, but because they agree with it. That's the idea. So they still need to have the door closed if they have enough reasons not to be there. But this is what we have already created since little when they have criteria. Just one example. I am foreigner, but here there is a rule that I don't agree with. And it is that the person that will occupy this job is not the most qualified or the best person for this, but has to be a person that has a certain color, or a person that has a certain gender, a person that has, in order to fulfill the quote or the percentage too. Why I don't agree with that? Because as a country is becoming less competitive, not for choosing the accurate person, but for choosing something that is imposed by law. This is my personal opinion. I have to share it. I don't want to get involved in politics. But it is something that I think, because I see the things from a different perspective. Maybe it is not, but I have the criteria or the chance or the right to think different. And I don't follow that law. I'm not going to go to jail. If I have to hire somebody, well, I have to do it in that way. But trying to adapt that rule the most possible to my own criteria. Because if not, my heart is going to say that I'm not doing something right. These are the things that you conflict or end up in your mind in spiritual terms for your whole life. But the idea is that we blossom spirits, not that we cut the wings of the person with the boundaries. How do we know this? It really depends on how you establish the boundary. The boundary has to come from your love. You have to go to bed at this time because I want you to have enough energy the next day that you have to go to school. The boundary is not from my fear or from my guiltiness. Oh no. You just have to go to dinner because I am tired at 6 o'clock, so you go to bed at 6 o'clock. I cannot resist you too. So one same situation can come from two different intentions. What it is important is that you revise what is the intention of settling that boundary. If it is for the highest good of all, especially of him, it is a good boundary. Defend it, protect it, be consistent, be strict, with love. Remember, the problem is not the boundary itself, the problem is the intention behind it and how you defend it. If you get emotional defending it and it's the end of the world, you're completely ruining it. No? So, for example, I'll just give you an example. I tell my family that for me it's very important my yoga class. Because if they want me to have me like the best of me, I need to go back to balance, and I love my yoga class. Okay. My yoga class is at 8:30 and I have to leave them in the school at 8. So I just have these times that they have to get out of the car quickly so the mother can have the yoga class. When I find myself that I am pushing them, being aggressive, what is the point of the yoga class? I'm like, no, I am trying to win peace with something, creating a whole chaos before. So there's no point. No, like, part of it is like to let it go. I realize that maybe today I'm not going to do it. But what I need is peace of mind. Because then if I just act like that, what I'm thinking is like, I know I treated them wrong today. It was not what I wanted to do. So settle the boundary, explain them why you want it and why are the consequences, but make sure that it comes from your good, loving intention, not from your fear. Okay. If definitely they don't follow the rule, definitely you explained it. You took the time to tell them why you want the best for them, but they don't. They want to continue doing the tantrum, or they want to continue doing the bad behavior. So you say, okay, I'm sorry that you currently don't understand the reason of why I'm taking this decision, but you will get them later. You don't understand why I want you the best right now. You'll get it later. Right now we have to do it in this way. I have to defend the boundary because my duty is to protect you. My duty is to love you. And I have enough reasons to decide this. But always listen, because when you listen to them, they also have very strong reasons, especially when they are teenagers. So they already think, and you also can reflect. Remember that it's a double exchange of information. Remember that you have to respect, that you are in the same level. You have to put the boundaries, yes, but you also have to listen. And the more you listen, the more you're going to comprehend, the more you're going to be in their shoes, the more compassion towards the situation and towards him you can have, because you are having a moment of awareness, of understanding what is happening inside of this person, and these are the basis of trust. This is how we build a channel of communication for the rest of our lives. If they don't feel that we are listening to them, because we always impose, you are cutting and cutting the communication. And remember that later in the future, because we are tied to them all our lives, we would like to keep communicating with them. But the ones that closed the channel were us. So they need to feel listened. This is very important. They need to feel that I love you so much that when you come to me, I put away my phone, I turn off my computer, and I sit and I look into your eyes and I say, I'm here. What is it what you want to tell me? But really, deeply expressing it, not having my, tell me quickly. Yes, go. What you say is not important. Because many times, when we are not in the same level of relationship, he's going to say that he peeled the banana. So give value, they are in different stages, but whatever they say or whatever, it comes from a feeling that they have inside. So this comes to the next one that has to do to, no, come on, everybody do it. You shouldn't be afraid of this. Come on, let's do it. We are not validating her fear. And what is going to happen is that later in her life, when she has a lot of feelings, she says, no, I'm not allowed to feel this. I just have to. And then you become like a crust. You put like a shield on you. And you never understand why you're feeling how you're feeling. Because eventually, this is like a boiling water inside you that needs to get out one day. But if you don't validate your feelings, if you don't understand when they are just little drops, when they just overflow, it is a chaos. You get into a emotional conflict. So if they say, I am in fear, okay, why are you in fear? What do you think that can happen? No, because it's too dark, or if they are little, no? Or if they are a little bit older, what do you fear? No, I fear that my friends don't love me, that they don't want to play with me, that they don't want to be with me. Okay? That is your own fear. And so try to express, like, I've been in that situation in the same way. But why do you fear? Did you did something for this to happen? So, like, how do you arrive to that conclusion? Because the fear has a reason. And according to the reason, you can go to the core, develop, explain your own experiences, but acknowledge what is going on and what is happening with them. The more you do it, the more you understand their feelings, the more connection you can have with your children. And it is very important to do it since they are very little. This is the build of trust. If you don't do it, if you don't have this space, or if you don't understand what they're feeling, when they are grown up, you have absolutely no idea what is going on to them because they close. They don't express themselves anymore. So you see them okay, but you have no idea what is happening in their minds, and they don't want to talk, and you don't know. So it is important to know how are you feeling. Maybe this is the second time that you're feeling in the same way. So you know that they need to heal something. So this process of acknowledgement, of understanding their feelings, is what you have to do to accompany them through all these 20 years that you are going to have influence in them to make them a better person. Okay? You can't solve the situation for them. So you cannot go, for example, a mother that had a teenager, she had glasses, she was fat, and she was feeling terrible in the school because she was being bullied, she didn't have enough friends. Instead of recuperating her self-esteem, which will be the step, the mother said, no, I am going to take off your glasses, I'm going to buy you contact lens, you're going to dress in this way, I'm going to put you into the nutritionist, you're going to have this diet. So like, adapting to the external, to the judgment of outside. But that didn't change the girl. So like, later she became a bulimic, exactly. Because the problem, the core, is not what it is happening outside. The problem is what is happening inside. Is why she doesn't have the trust. Or like the confidence. It is not how I change externally. It is how I change internally, how I change my state of mind that is going to change the environment. My environment are my thoughts and my feelings that determine my reality. If I change according to the reality, I am going to produce more of what I don't want. Mm-hmm. So this is very, very important. I cannot change the world. And this mother went to talk to the teacher and she said, no, she has to participate in more things because she's feeling like that because of your fault. No. Especially if they are teenagers, our support has to do of being there. I listen you, I give you advice if you ask me to, or I just can, in different situations, talking about something else with my husband and knowing that they are listening, explaining all this. A friend of a friend lived this situation and he solved it in this way. But I cannot solve their problems. I just can be there. But if we have the connection, I need him to solve the situation. So what do you think will make you feel better? If it comes from out the girl and she's saying, well, if I have a better body, well, then you work for it. So you have to eat less yourself. Take that decision. or you will have to accept yourself as you are, or you will have to do more exercise. But so the satisfaction of working towards a goal is what is going to give her her real value, not what it is outside. Second thing, validate their feelings, very important. The second thing, express yours. If your children is yelling at you, if he's telling you bad things, I don't love you, I hate you, you do this because you hate me, many things that you know that can be engaging in an emotional situation, well then you say, you are hurting me, you are hurting my feelings. Get to know that if you express how you're feeling in the future discussion, he's also going to tell you, you are hurting my feelings, and you are going to have to stop, because it's an exchange of information. And what we want here is that we both feel good. Have that perspective. Okay, the goal here is that we both learn and that we both feel good. So we go to the picture because we love each other. We don't want to hurt ourselves. So the way that you're treating me is not what I want to listen, but not with the sense of victimization. I don't like you, you treat me like this because I give a lot to you, and I give you my life, and I give you my time, and I give you my space, and I give you everything, so you owe me. No, that's not the point. The point is that we are in the same level. I know I can hurt you, and I'm sorry if I have done it. You can also hurt me. I'm vulnerable to what you say because I love you. Why are you so upset with me that you want to say this? And then you go to the core, to the core, to the core. Okay. And you express them that you can also make mistakes, and that you can also get to know, so that he knows that you hurt him, but that wasn't your intention. They are always going to forgive you. So for us, it's more difficult to forgive than for them. It doesn't matter the age. So like for them, it's easier. It comes with adulthood that we become more strong and more disconnected. But it is a very nice way to show them that forgiveness makes a shift, makes you aware and makes you more conscious. And you can repair damages with that. Behaviors that you can see in your children. With this one, if you like to take a picture, or maybe I can send it to you through WhatsApp, because this is just like a map to how to react towards the things. If they are bad, so really behaving bad, and they are being defiant, so you have to be firm, okay? So like, that what you're saying is unrespectful, that behavior is not accepted. And we're gonna stop it right now until we both calm down, and later find a space to explain it. But at that moment, stop it. If they are behaving bad due to the trouble of their emotions, for example, you know that they had a very bad day in school. Maybe, I don't know, they didn't pass an exam, maybe they lost the soccer match, and they were willing to win, and they worked hard for it, or like many things that makes us feel affected. So they come with a bad attitude. Try to be understanding, because, so like, don't blame them for that. They are not trying to be defiant with you or something. So they come for a process in which they need to release the emotion and being able to transform it or transmute it. But give guidance. If they are needy and clingy, and this happens many times when they are little, but they can be 11 years old and still very demanding and very wanting to you, and I want my mother to be here, and I want she to be here, and I want to be attached to her, well, they need more attention. And it is not because you have done it wrong, or it is not because you're not giving them enough attention. Can be, but let's say a mom that is fully present, and the girl or the boy still need it. They need it. So not everybody is the same. But if they don't receive it, they are going to leave holes in their security. So we need to be cuddly and attentive. There are kids that, for example, make the tantrums, and what they need is somebody that come, grab them, touch them, look at the eyes and say, what's wrong? What is it what you want to say? But make this connection, make the connection, validate the feeling. And then it's not, so like, When you do this, they won't behave in the same way. So make the connection. If they're older and you cannot take them like that, grab the shoulder, look into the eyes. What happened? What happened? I don't want to talk. Okay, I'm here. That's it. Allow the emotion to be released. If that's why I'm saying not only cuddling, but attentive. No, let's see how he behaves after this. I want to know what is going to be his next step. I know he's hurt. Let's see how he deals with his emotions. And this is very important, especially in the teenagers. Many kids that don't know how to manage their feelings are committing suicide. And the moms have absolutely no idea that they were that near to that. It's like, I don't understand, he was a happy boy. Well, no, he was not as happy as you thought. But be very attentive in this type of, like when they are having a feeling, be attentive of how they react. Lack of self-confidence, if you see that they don't want to, I don't want to go to school today, I don't want to be in the theater doing this presentation, I don't want to, so when you feel that they have lack of confidence, teach them to be content with themselves, because these kids have a lot of pressure from the environment, from the outside, and they are not giving the value from within, which is something that we have touched during the presentation many times. They need to understand that they can be comfortable alone. It is very important since they are very little that they develop moments of aloneness. So like, I enjoy my own company. And I am secure because I have all my needs provided, which most of them have to do with love.
So how do we help them with their confidence if they're a little bit older? Like right now, like when he's 8.
The best way to give them confidence is that you feel confident, because my energetic bond will be transmitted to you. Confidence is shown and learned by example. If you have confident parents, you're a confident person. And that's why parenting has to do a lot with how I shift in myself. If your child lacks of confidence, go yourself and find the confidence within you, and you will transmit it, I'm sure. That is something that they really grab from what you emit, from the energy that you transmit. Emanate, sorry. Bueno, if they are behaving private and quiet, respect the desire of them to be disengaged, of being private. It is very important that this doesn't mean that they close the door and you don't know what is going on there. No, but sometimes they need their space, and this space is very important to come back to our neutral emotions. So allow this type of space to happen. If they're boisterous and playful at the right time, leave them. Let them be free. That is going to uplift their spirit. If they're boisterous and playful at the wrong time, then we bring them to a state of attention. You know, like it is supper time and you're still jumping. No, in this moment, you need to sit at the table with all of us and be quiet. So like, there are boundaries. We need to be strict and disciplined with the boundaries. Not with an emotion, but the more constant we are, the easiest will be for them. They will know what to expect from you. And they get it very clear. Okay, so this is going to be the summary. Let's see, in which position are we? As a world parent or as a spiritual parent?
Big sum. You have the
Exam.
first now. What we need to dig.
The first one is, a world parent wants to change the kid's behavior. He is too stubborn. He is not disciplined. He makes these tantrums. Like, I want another kid. No? A spiritual parent think, I want to improve my own behavior, because that is what I'm going to give to him. That is what he's going to copy. That is what I'm going to start mirror on him. A world parent is going to say, they are not conscious of their fears, so life happens to them. No, I'm with my child and everything and all this, and you can perceive the difference of a person that is aware of their emotions and a person that is not aware of their emotions. and how that is expressed in the child. The spiritual parent will accept that has fears and will know that he needs to change and face them. And we will work on them and don't transmit them to the child. This is very important. Don't transmit our fears. We need to do better than our parents did with us. World parents, I sacrifice all my life for my children. What is going to happen later is that when they leave, I say, what was all this for? And I have had persons that come here with a syndrome that is called empty nest. That is something that happens in your ovaries or it can happen in your uterus, and it is because they left and I left myself behind. If I do this, or if this is happening to me, my children first are not going to be secure and authentic for them because that is not what I am emanating first. The second thing is that if I don't love enough myself, if I don't invest enough in me today, I'm not going to be able to give the best of myself to my kid. So I need to feel confident with me. I need to feel secure with myself in order to give.
But also, if you always project that to your child and you have sacrificed so many things to your child will grow up with so much pressure.
Yes, with
Thinking that
guilty.
need to fulfill all your expectations because you sacrifice a lot for them. It's also a lot of pressure that puts a lot of pressure on the children as well.
So we can never blame them for that. So at first, they never consider that you're sacrificing. It's part of your responsibility. So you made love, you had a child.
Yeah.
So you created him, it's not his fault. And now you have a responsibility. So it's a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
But people sometimes like to justify their behavior with victimization.
They play victims, yeah. Many moms play victims, yeah.
Other thing, consider the child is their property, because in a way the child owes the time, the sacrifice I made for him and everything. So every time that we say my children, there is an ego thing of thinking that they belong to me. This doesn't happen. So time demonstrates you that it's only a short period of time and that they have wings and that they are going to fly away, and this is what it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I already explained to you that this is like a problem, an energetic problem. So they don't belong to us. I understand, if you're a spiritual parent, that the children are not mine, that they have their own journey and that they are my temporary masters only for a period of time, and that they need to learn their own lessons. So they are not my property. The world parent feels superior to the kids and impose the ego. The spiritual parent knows that both are masters of each other. So my relationship is based on respect. The world parent wants to do all for their children because I don't want to suffer. I don't want them to suffer. I will try to live my life through you. No, I have to understand that they have a different path with their own lessons. The world parents don't allow them to suffer. The spiritual parents allow them to learn, being there for support in the process. The world parent will suppress the emotions. No, cannot say this, we cannot spread like this. Spiritual parents will validate the emotion. The world parent will have a goal in education, and it is you have to be the best. The spiritual father knows that the goal in education is to create criteria to allow them to take their own decisions. So they are going to feel good, be happy in their lives. The method that the world parents use is control or fear. The method that the spiritual father does is love and full attention. But I really mean full. So we ask them to be fully present at the dining table, we ask them to be fully present when they are with us, but most of the times I've seen many moms that they are not fully present. Not even with friends, we're fully present. I'm wait, what are you saying? How come we're going to ask something? Remember, never ask something that you don't give. Punishment, we have to change it for correction with love.
I have a question regarding that. I just want to know your opinion. I went to a course, and in that course, I like to also do different workshops with parenting and take what I feel it works for me. And in one of these courses, it was a workshop actually, they were saying that we were talking previously about the consequences instead of punishment, but they were saying even no consequence, because consequence made them deal with guiltiness or feel guilty. What do you think about it? I mean, I think a consequence is necessary. It's my personal opinion, and as long as you correct with love. But at some point, you also have to deal with guilt because you did something wrong. You need to understand that it wasn't correct, and it's a level of guiltiness by doing something wrong. But now some trends is like no consequences, no, not even a consequence. So how we educate our kids? They need to understand that there is a consequence. And what is your opinion about it?
Okay, my opinion is that, and it doesn't only relate to the parenting relationship, it's to all your life. You live the consequence of what you already created, with your thoughts, with your feelings, and with your actions. The more aware that you are of this process of creation of your reality, the better you can plant today the seeds that you're going to live in your future. So, for me, it's very important that they know that whatever they do has a consequence, not only for them, for the whole environment. Like if you throw the paper here, come on, so like somebody else will have to pick it up. There is somebody else that is going to have a double job. So get to know that only by doing this, you are creating a consequence. That makes them responsible of their lives. That is my opinion. And for what I've studied, I know that it has guiltiness, yes, but we can deal with guiltiness as well. We have to forgive ourselves and be compassionate with ourselves. And guiltiness, even though it's the lowest emotion that we can feel, it is the process of learning. And life teaches us all the time. It's through learn that we can be better persons the next day. So, in energy terms, there is no good or bad. There is no judgment. There is only learns that can be taken from love or learning processes that you can take from fear. If you feel guiltiness, it's a learning process that comes from your wounds, from your pains, from your fear. But if it's something that you validate, that makes you feel good, it's a learning process that comes from a positive thing that you also have inside. Both of things we have inside. We have the good wolf and the bad wolf, both. So categorize something with guiltiness is putting our judgment. But definitely, whatever we do has a consequence. That's my opinion.
Because you can't eliminate guiltness out of your life completely, as you can't eliminate any emotions
Out of your life completely.
You just
But
have to
what you
learn
can
to
deal.
deal with them.
Exactly. Sorry. But that is what we have to do, deal with our emotions, basically. Expectations of the child in his future and the spiritual parent is the acceptance of the child in the presence, knowing that today he is all what he needs to be, and what he needs to be is happy. Just there. All right, so I would like to make an exercise with you. This is the last quote about Eckhart Tolle. He says, the challenges of parenting can become a great opportunity for a spiritual awakening. Becoming a fully conscious parent is the greatest gift you can give to your child. It doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect parents. It doesn't come overnight. So like tomorrow I went to this workshop and tomorrow I'm going to do it well and perfect. But only remember the intention. Only to understand that something I did unconsciously is a wake-up call for consciousness.
The first step.
It's the first step, exactly. What you do to that is what will open the universe to make shifts, energetic shifts in your life of healing the 4 next generations. So you think with a decision is something little. When you change a thought pattern, it's something little, but it is not at all. It is actually something very big. last 10 minutes. I hope that you're not too tired. Was it clear the summary that I make here? Like the difference
Yeah.
between a moral parent and a spiritual parent?
Mm.
This, we went through all these.